Hello gamers, this is Si and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now what's blue and broke the sound barrier? I absolutely love Sonic, and with that being said, let's get on with the video. In the world of gaming, there's always been rivalries, some between video game characters, their respective companies, and even with gamers themselves, doing their best to one-up each other, showing off who's the best and who can claim to be gaming royalty. Of course, speaking of all this rivalry, especially within the world of gaming, this couldn't be more true with gaming companies. They would use marketing techniques that tiptoe that fine line between what's legal and what's not, usually with tongue-in-cheek intentions.
What Nintendo?
In fact, two gaming companies I can think of are Nintendo and Sega. Nintendo had Mario, while Sega had Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this rivalry between the two powerhouses of gaming has come to an end, but back in the 90s, these two gaming icons went toe-to-toe with each other. So with that in mind, let's go back to where it all started. In the mid-80s, Nintendo dominated the world of gaming, especially after the video game crash, and from there, Nintendo had hit after hit with classic games such as Metroid, Kid Icarus and Mega Man. With a huge library of games, there was one that had an Italian plumber traversing the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue a princess, and of course with this, gamers were instantly hooked. This of course was Mario, who as all gamers know is Nintendo's famous mascot, but waiting in the wings was Sega, who would end up becoming Nintendo's biggest rival, especially in the 90s. With the release of the NES, Sega released the Master System, a great little machine of 8-bit fun that was hugely popular in Europe, but couldn't quite compete with the sheer power that the NES had over gamers. While the Master System had some great games such as Rampage, Alex Kidd and Secret Command, the NES was blessed with Ninja Gaiden, Excitebike and the original Legend of Zelda. As a Zelda fan, I will come back to the series at some point, but with 3 timelines, where do I begin? Eventually, gaming entered the world of 16-bit, with Sega releasing the Sega Mega Drive, and for a brief period, that gap between these two companies started to close, until Nintendo released the Super Nintendo. Two fantastic consoles that became the subject of playground arguments in a period of time known as the Bit Wars. Gamers would argue over which console had the best graphics, the best music, and of course, the best games. With such games as Altered Beast, Moonwalker and The Revenge of Shinobi available for the Sega Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo was still steaming ahead with sales going through the roof, leaving Sega in the dust. Some might say this was because of Mario, plus a few other legendary games, and so Sega had to come up with a plan fast, and as if by magic, Sonic the Hedgehog was created. Now Sega heavily promoted Sonic the Hedgehog and its use of blast processing that many Sega gamers would use as ammo in the Bit Wars argument. And to close that gap once again, Sonic the Hedgehog was only available as a bundle exclusive for the Sega Mega Drive. A very clever idea to make gamers purchase the Sega Mega Drive, and with this, the partnership between Sonic and Sega was a match made in heaven. Gamers couldn't get enough of Sonic, propelling sales of the Sega Mega Drive to new heights. And with this, the legendary rivalry between Sonic and Mario began, marking their place in history as some of the gaming's greatest icons. More Sonic sequels were released for the Sega Mega Drive, and of course with this, other gaming companies jumped on the bandwagon of creating their own mascots, but none could quite compete with the sheer coolness of Sonic. Sonic Mania soon spread across the world with toys, more video games, books and comics, as well as several TV shows, plus an animated movie. Oh hey, did you say cartoon? No. The blue blur had won over gamers with his in-your-face attitude, as well as taking the world by storm with his iconic blue spikes. Sonic was an unstoppable force of speed, but with gaming technology advancing, Sega knew that this blue hedgehog was actually a golden goose, and so proposed a new Sonic game for the upcoming Sega Saturn. Now, as most gamers know, the Sega Saturn was supposed to have a standalone Sonic game, but unfortunately this never happened. But it does make me wonder, if it did have a standalone Sonic game, would the Sega Saturn been able to compete against the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64? With the Sega Saturn not performing as well as it should have, it just proved how important Sonic was to Sega, as well as the world of gaming. But luckily all this changed with the release of the white box of fun known as the Sega Dreamcast. Sonic had been on a bit of hiatus, but when Sonic Adventure was released, the world went crazy for the fastest thing alive. Gamers were overjoyed that their favourite hedgehog had returned to the world of gaming in his first 3D Sonic game, but gamers wanted more, and luckily their prayers were answered when Sonic Adventure 2 appeared. Sonic Adventure 2 was more action-packed, had more characters and a fantastic soundtrack, and of course with 2 Sonic games for the Dreamcast, it performed so much better than Sega Saturn. However, this didn't last for long. When Sony announced the PlayStation 2, this rocked the world of gaming, and sadly a victim came in the form of the Dreamcast, as well as Sega itself, who announced they would no longer be making video game consoles, but instead focus on making games. And with this, Sonic would transition onto other gaming systems, bringing them success, as well as creating a whole new legion of fans. Eventually Sonic made an appearance on the GameCube, Nintendo's purple box of fun, but if this happened back in the day, it would have rocked the world of gaming. And of course my friend Justin had the perfect response to this in a previous video.
If this happened when I was a kid, my head would have exploded right out my ass.
With each Sonic game that was released, gamers were overjoyed that they could play as their favourite blue blur, which in itself brought them all closer together to discuss their favourite game starring Sonic the Hedgehog. I do have a list of my favourite Sonic games, but that's for another video. Now, there have been a few questionable Sonic games that, despite some of their flaws, still managed to be somewhat of a success for the gaming system that they found themselves on. But for every bad game, there were several diamonds in the rough, such as Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. However, the world soon went crazy once again when Sega announced a return to the 2D style of gaming with Sonic Mania. Older gamers were taken back to the early 90s, with Sonic returning to his 2D roots. And of course with Sonic Mania Plus being released, a few of his old forgotten friends made a return as well. Gamers saw the return of Ray the Squirrel and Mighty the Armadillo, 2 characters from Sonic's past, and of course without Sonic, the world of gaming would be completely different, which only proves my point of how important Sonic was to Sega, as well as the world of gaming. It's been just under 30 years since Sonic graced the world of gaming with some of the greatest games ever made, each bringing something new, as well as expanding the Sonic fanbase, where Sonic fans old and new could share their love for this blue anthropomorphic hedgehog with fancy shoes. Hopefully in time, Sonic will make his gaming return, especially for its 30th anniversary. Maybe gamers will be able to traverse the world of Mobius, or even travel among the stars, helping the star child known as Rystar. Either way, hopefully Sonic will inspire more generations of gamers, just like Mario did back in the 80s. But for now, just like Sonic, let's keep running towards that final goal. Anyway, come back next time where the Power Rangers have to stop the evil Rita from taking over the world. But do they have what it takes to summon the mighty Megazord? Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.
Thank you.